In Poland, a mysterious metal case was found on the porch of an orphanage in the village of Deluga. The inscription on it said that it was a donation. Employees, thinking that there might be a bomb, were afraid to open the find and called the police. Arriving police officers opened the case and found sweets and about $25,000 in it. Okay, yeah, but the way that thing looks, I know that the chain and lock are there for a reason because there's a lot of money in it, but it does look highly suspect. But damn, pretty cool nonetheless, I'd say. Turkish photographer beats up client after learning the bride is 15 years old. Hell yeah, man. Me after I report every military ad I see for threatening violence against others. Good one. Your dog's gay. Sorry. Me and my partner adopted a dog a few years back. A mutt of indeterminate breed on the slim side with a face like a seal. Big wet eyes, dark eyelashes, and a blonde-haired face. He's got a penis, and since we can't ask him his gender, we assume he's male. Now, for whatever reason, it seems like every dog he plays with wants to hump him. All of them. He doesn't really care. He'll tell him to knock it off if it gets to be too much, but for the most part, he just keeps playing. The ones who get pissed about it, though, are the humping dogs owners, who come over marching and yelling about how you should get her spayed. My dog never acts like this. Rah! Their face when we tell them that our dog is in fact not a girl is quite enjoyable. This giant digital billboard was vandalized with paint within weeks of it being put up. I love my city. Yep, deserves it. Bristol against digital advertising screens. You know, I heard a joke a while back about them maybe putting billboards in space, and my favorite response to that has always been, and will always be, if I look up to see the moon and I see advertisements anywhere in the sky, I will become a terrorist. Today I learned in 2018 a hacker broke into people's routers, about 100,000 of them, and patched their vulnerabilities up so that they couldn't be abused by other hackers. A strange and rare tale of a good hacker doing a good boy thing. At least once a month I randomly remember that Dr. Phil once invited the creator of the Bum Fights video series on his show to confront him about exploiting vulnerable people for financial gain, only for him to show up dressed as Dr. Phil and point out he does the exact same thing. And to my recollection, it lasted all of like 10 seconds once he did that, because Dr. Phil is a giant plant saver. Oh, thank God. Don't know why the plant was knocked over in the first place, but at least someone was there to pick up the pieces, right? The Indiana law that lets citizens cops. The Hoosier state now allows people to use deadly force to keep public servants from illegally entering their homes or cars. Police, of course, are not pleased. Oh yeah, they don't get to bust into your home without warning or anything like that at all and kill you while you sleep anymore. At least literally only in Indiana. Some residents of this town hold authorities at gunpoint and made them construct a road overnight. 30 were arrested. Accidents were allegedly witnessed on that patch of broken road. Sometimes people just get fed the hell up, brother. My university is greedy, so I decided to post everything I learn about woodworking at an almost $300,000 four-year curriculum. Your university teaches woodcutting at $300,000 for a full 4 years? Wow. I'm not posting this as self-promotion, but to share the opportunity to learn for everyone. The financial situation of colleges and universities in the USA is ridiculous, and this is my way of getting back at them. I don't charge for anything, and I don't ever plan to. I just ask that everyone's civil and follows the rules. There are already 3 assignments you could start working on, as well as a ton of information and material to look over. Aha! Woodwork Robin Hood. Now that is true chaotic good in my book.
Whoa, 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 we've got new merch over at EmKayshop.com. Why don't you go over there and take a look for yourself? This stuff made with 100% cotton is hefty, thick, and built to last. So you'd be crazy not to get it, right? Head on over now and use code BOOBIN at checkout to get free shipping. Ukrainian women are using dating profiles with AI images to trick horny Russian soldiers into giving away secrets, report says. Oh, god damn it. I visited my high school I dropped out of 76 years ago to pay tribute to the popular girls that bullied me to think I'd never be popular. Now I have 6 million followers and they're all rotting underground. You freaking show 'em. After Minnie Cox, the first black female postmaster, was pressured out of her post in Mississippi, President Theodore Roosevelt continued to pay her salary and punished the town by rerouting their mail 30 miles away until they gave her back the position. I feel like there are a lot of ways he could have solved this issue, but he chose the funniest, in my opinion. I appreciate it. I noticed there was a blank wall at McDonald's, so I decided to make this fake poster of me and my friend and put it up. It's been there for 51 days. I feel like everybody that noticed that it was because they all noticed. They didn't just not notice the poster. They did, but they probably assumed, oh, management must have come down and put it up there. This man is painting penises on potholes, so the council has to take action.
election. You know, I've always wondered how well this really works, because our neighborhood is messed up, and I would like for them to actually fix the damn roads at least one time. My roommate, when she talks to unvaccinated guys and convinces them to get the vaccine so they can go on a date and then proceeds to ghost them. Good. Suck it. I worked for a billing office and built programs to make it easier to keep track of clients, payments, and records. I was fired and told to finish out 2 weeks. In that time, I removed every program I'd created and put them back on their outdated original program. Good. They don't own your programs. You do. Suck it. They can just suck it. The last time we had a real live shutdown, one of the local college radio stations started playing the uncensored versions of all the songs they can't normally play since the FCC wasn't operating and couldn't find them. I feel like we should do that again, but on the big boy radio stations. Although, you know, at a certain point, they'll just start secretly keeping track anyway, rack up a bill, and then send it to everybody because that's how this all works. I practice hostile, pedestrianism. Driver speeds up and tries to beat me through the crosswalk. I start running, so they either have to stop or run me over. Driver edging into the crosswalk at a stoplight. I make direct eye contact and shout at them as I give them a thumbs down. I'm aware this will probably result in me getting shot or run over, but I don't care. Said it before and I'll say it again. Just because someone pisses you off or annoys you or anything like that does not mean you have the right to murder them. Just because you have a gun in your car does not mean that when you get mad, you get to pull it out and end someone's life. You are not that person. And if you think you are, you'll spend a lot of time in prison and you'll deserve it. I want bad drivers to be uncomfortable in their interactions with me and think about it for the rest of the day. I want bad drivers to tell their friends about some crazy guy who yelled at them in the middle of an intersection. I want bad drivers to be fearful of me, so they look for pedestrians while they drive. Really, I want to make driving less comfortable for those who have grown lazy. They're not even lazy, they're just pieces of shit. Time to paint me. Oh, there you go. Results. Thank you. Chaotic good for sure. Hedge funds. GameStop can't open its doors because of the pandemic. Let's short more than 100% of its stock so the company dies and 15,000 people lose their jobs. Reddit. Screw you. Finance media. Oh my god, the Redditors are using foul language. God, do I wish we could keep doing that again and again and again. Screw hedge funds. Die. Just die. Update. Republicans started recruiting plaintiffs for a lawsuit to stop student debt relief. Our response? 130,000 false applications were sent in less than a day. Good work, everybody. Yep, keep it up. Absolutely keep it up. The world and our country are not able to continue operating under crippling, lifelong debt. It's not going to work. People are dying. This has to stop. I was terminated from my job, but still have their grocery supplier login. I worked in a commercial kitchen. This large company screwed me over and took advantage of me. I really wanted to add ridiculous, pointless items to their deliveries. Would this be illegal? I don't think the website tracks login locations. Well, if you have the login, you have the credentials to change the password, and even better, the delivery address. Change both, make the address to a homeless shelter, and order one big-ass delivery of non-perishables, canned goods, and anything that'll make their lives wonderful for a spell. You know, big companies, you know them as well as I do. They're not just gonna let them have it. Once they figure out what's going on, they're gonna find out where those deliveries were made, they're gonna have a bunch of douchebags show up and take it back. If you hate your HOA, nothing funnier than installing a 7,000 plus capacity bat roost causing thousands of bats to come into your neighborhood. They'll cause your HOA to complain, but they can't legally do anything about it because bats are federally protected animals and it cannot be removed. Knowing HOAs, though, they should all die and burn in hell. They will find a way. They will absolutely figure out a way to get this taken down or, get you killed or something. HOAs do all sorts of nasty, disgusting shit. Good morning, evil bitches. How'd y'all fare in the night? Great. I sent an email to my landlord about our living conditions and CC'd his mom, dad, uncle, granddad, the CHA, City of Chicago, elected officials, and every multi-million-dollar company and foundation his family owns or heads. Good. Keep it that way. A French weightlifter named Charles, I won't ruin your last name, was jailed for hitting a guard, but broke out of the jail cell by bending the bars. He allowed the other prisoners to escape as well, as he then beat the guard who jailed him. One of the few people in history I think we can unironically say was built different. When contestants do cry out of frustration or disappointment generally, Mel and Sue stand near them and use unairable language, so the embarrassing footage is tainted and won't make it into the final edit. Using unwholesome language to keep your show wholesome. Aww. As well as swearing, they also use brand names. This must be the definition of chaotic good, honestly. It's also just being very, very clever. There's a vigilante in Rome, Italy that vandalizes cars that are parked on pavement or blocking disabled access. Good. Screw you. You know what you're doing. You know where you parked. Suck it, asshole. What's the craziest crime you or somebody in your family committed? It's not a bad crime or anything, but it was illegal at the time. So in Germany, up until a few years ago, we still had a general draft of the army Army, and a generation ago it was very hard to get out of it. My uncle was a hardcore pacifist, so going to the Army wasn't an option for him, but being accepted as a conscientious objector at the time basically required you to be a devout Christian and use the Bible as an argument for why you couldn't kill another human. And my uncle was also atheist, so he couldn't realistically object, didn't want to go to the Army, and didn't want to go to jail too, so he waited. He got sent his first draft notice, passed the physical, and got a letter telling him to report to X company under Sergeant Y. He wrote back a reply on rose-colored paper scented with perfume about how much he was looking forward to serving under the strong leadership of Y, promising to obey every one of his orders, and that he can't wait to experience life in the barracks together with so many strong and muscular men. He was declared unfit for service shortly after. Yeah, that's great. That's super cool. Black men drinking water at a white-only fountain in 1964. Again, I've mentioned it before, but it's still crazy how this stuff was not happening very long ago, really at all. Our grandparents were there. Had a baby boomer in front of me at the Dairy Queen. She insisted she was the Blizzard expert, and there was simply not enough chocolate pieces in her Blizzard, and she wanted to complain to whoever was in charge. She's going on and on with this teenager. The teenager is calmly explaining they make them all the same, etc., but this woman's now yelling at them. So I walk past the woman and put money in the teen's tip jar. Haven't gotten ice cream yet. Woman looks at me and turns back and yells more and more with the teen. I put more money in there. The teen smiles at me. The woman can't think of what to say and stops yelling, because I'm looking at her dead in the eye with the ATM is over there, I can go all night. The more you yell at her, the more money she makes kind of look. Aggressive generosity to combat boomer selfishness is so punk. Also, we as a society need to come together and be a little bit more vocal about defending employees of stores like that. I'm sorry, the teenagers don't and aren't allowed to speak up because they kind of want to keep their job even if they don't like it, and most of them don't. Most people don't like their jobs, as a matter of fact, because they all suck and they get paid nothing for it. But we're not allowed to yell at people who are being horribly abusive smartasses who make threats and do whatever they want. We, as a society, like I said, need to band together, and whenever we see that happening, tell that person to shut the fuck up and leave. And maybe don't come back. They are not welcome anywhere. Man buys a hate group's domain and turns it into a gay furry site. The Wolves of Odin is an anti-Muslim hate group, but if you go to their Canadian website, you'll only see love. Be me, sister's having an extra rough day. Take my nephew to one of those jump parks just to give her a moment to breathe. He's enjoying himself and wants to play dodgeball with the other kids. The other kids are 12 to 14 while he's 7. Tell him I won't stop him from having fun, but expect no mercy from the older kids. He gets slaughtered, clearly upset. The other kids are clearly targeting him. His entire team is obliterated. Decide enough is enough. Walk into the court like Big in a locker room. Be 25-year-old, 6'4" fat ass, whatever user adult. Can throw one of these balls with the speed of a meteor compared to the plebeian kids on the other team. Reenact that scene in dodgeball where the loser gets really pissed off and murders the entire team solo. Jump up on the trampoline so high that when my full fat ass weight goes down into a throw, I knock kids down. They're flying into the sides of the trampolines after my gorilla throws. Nephew thinks it's the most badass crap ever. Our team wins. Take him out for ice cream after. I've not done much with my crappy life, but I'll never forget how happy my nephew was to tell my sister that I slam dunked other children. Miriam Rodriguez hunted down 10 of her 20-year-old daughter's kidnappers, stalking them one by one across Mexico until they were either dead or in prison. Much like Liam Neeson's character in the 2008 film, Taken, because you didn't fucking say it, Miriam Rodriguez from Mexico used guns, fake IDs, and even disguises to hunt down the men who snatched and murdered her child. I hope she was completely and utterly successful. Walmart to close its doors on Black Friday. I'm starting a misinformation campaign to convince people that Walmart is closed on Black Friday. That way the people who work at Walmart will have a less stressful day. Join me in the fight to spread positive misinformation. Yeah, we gotta stop this whole Black Friday thing, because it's not even on the day anymore. It's like it's its own holiday now. Thanksgiving who? It's like October now coming out into stores in August, or Christmas beginning to sell decorations, like, I say Christmas like it's an entity that's doing it itself. You know, Christmas decorations pop out October 1st for some reason, which is complete bullshit, honestly. Knock it off, please. And Black Friday's basically the entire month now, so that's cool. I buried my boss's son scooter. Okay, my teacher wanted a story that's gonna shock him, so I wrote him a cute little story about a couple, Fletcher and Mia, falling in love. The last sentences of the story are, so what's your full name? I mean, what's Mia short for? Michael. Because my teacher's kinda homophobic, I'm gonna force him to enjoy a fluffy love story with no gender pronouns, and oh, what a shame, you like the story about a gay couple. Sorry, man. I've been using Spotify to secretly spy on my friend. One of my closest friends names her Spotify playlist with specific names. One of her playlists is called Sad Lady Hours, and every time I see her actively listening to it, I shoot her a hopefully inconspicuous text asking what she's up to, that I love her, etc. I hope she never notices the pattern. Purest thing I've ever heard. In the town where I grew up, there was a large statue in one of the parks of a famous historical white colonizer. I'm not going to say who specifically. Suffice it to say that it was someone who wasn't worth memorializing for their deeds. And as you can imagine, this statue was a frequent target of vandalism, with paint or toilet paper or eggs on multiple occasions. Now, the local council was generally pretty lax when it came to repairing potholes or other public damage in the town, but every time, 24 hours after this particular statue was hit, the same person would always appear in a high-vis vest, hat, mask, and sunglasses, carrying a bucket of water, and wash it clean. They would do it as quickly as possible, but always made sure the face and name carved at the bottom were generously scrubbed. This only encouraged people to do it again, and it became a vicious cycle. Within the year, the statue had sustained so much damage it was unrecognizable, and the lettering unreadable, so eventually, the council came and took it down. Also, apparently, the person in the high-vis vest didn't even work with them. They were supposedly just some good Samaritan who cleaned it, often before the council even discovered it needed cleaning. So they just let them do it and ignored the problem. They didn't bother putting the statue up again. Much later, we found out that the anonymous Samaritan had been deliberately washing the statue with a bucket of salt water, which had dramatically corroded it, causing irreversible accumulative damage far worse than spray paint ever would have done. It's even theorized that they were also often the ones spray painting it, just so they had an excuse to come back after a day to wash it. A good Samaritan indeed. Ohio has stopped kicking workers off unemployment after a hacker targeted the state website used by employers to report employees who refused to report for work. The hacker submitted huge volumes of junk data, making it impossible to investigate workers. Hey, Commonwealth Bank, how about you service your freaking ATMs in Bunbury so punters like me will not have to tape fish to them, so you'll have no choice but to come and fix them. I have more fish, tape, and willpower than your entire organization. Fix them now. I've just taken my son's phone. How do I access his history? It's impossible. Oh, thanks. So I got a friend who was protesting. They got arrested and then they called their job from jail to tell them that they were in jail and weren't going to make it to work. Why did their job bail them out and make them come to work? I genuinely couldn't tell you anything about that one, pal. I got absolutely nothing for you. My ex-girlfriend had a few too many shots of tequila in a party and passed out on the couch. When I went to check on her, I noticed she pissed all over the place. To avoid embarrassment, I filled up a bucket with water and threw it over her to disguise it as a prank. I'm that kind of boyfriend. She still has no idea. Now that's chaotic good. Chaotic evil, however, would be pissing all over her to disguise the fact that she pissed herself. I don't know. Would that truly disguise it? Because I'm not 100% sure or convinced of really anything anymore. Adding 400 years of increased school funding by editing the budget with your veto powers. Alright, in Wisconsin, governors have a partial veto power, allowing them to strike out but not add individual words and phrases in a bill that's already passed the state legislature. On Wednesday, July 5th, Democratic Governor Tony Evers used this power to edit the language of the new state budget, passed by Republican-controlled state legislature, to extend the original budget's $325 per student school funding increase from 2 years to 402 years. Here's the original language of that section. For the limit for the 2023 to 2024 school year and the 2024 to 2025 school year, add $325 to the result under par. Evers used his partial veto power to strike out the text bolded below, and got perfectly legally the following result. For the limit for 2023 through 24-25, add $325 to the result under par. Money forever. The Gulabi gang is a gang of women in India who track down and beat abusive husbands with brooms. This is too thug not to reblog. Can we give them something a little heavier? Maybe bats? Maybe we'll just give them full-on vacuum cleaners and they can beat the shit out of these guys that way. Graffiti in my hometown. Motor vehicles. No motor vehicles? Yes motor vehicles? What exactly is going on here? Church annoyed after $20 donation turned out to be lecture on evolution. The First Church of the Trinity Blessed was appalled because an atheist has infiltrated the sanctity of the church and left a fake donation after the services. Aw, kind of like so many of your flock like to do when they're out at IHOP or something, because, you know, a lot of people go to IHOP after church. I don't know why that feels weird, but I don't know. You couldn't mind your own goddamn business, so why are you pissy now? Oh, poor baby.
Greenpeace, shut up, man. Greenpeace drops boulders off Cornwall to disrupt deep fishing. Greenpeace has dropped 18 boulders into the ocean about 200 miles off Cornwall in an attempt to disrupt industrial fishing. So how does that work? I'm failing to understand why that disrupts deep fishing. Is there anyone who's smarter than me can explain that? I'm not sure what that does. Does it like do the fishermen catch the boulders, or what's going on? I don't. Cool, but how does it stop fishing? It is never the answer. You gotta outlive your enemies. This is strangely motivational. Seriously, this just spoke to me in the most intense, odd way. Yeah, you know, he's kind of like that. He's something of a people person, something of a talker. Man buys a hate group's domain and turns it into a gay furry site. The Wolves of Odin is an anti-Muslim hate group, but if you go to their Canadian website, you'll only see love, because that's how you fight. That's how you fight them where they're at. That's how you fight hate. My dad's a boomer. He sometimes lets Facebook get him riled up and believing conspiracy theories. I have his login information for his Facebook. He knows. Every once in a while, I go into his Facebook and clean out all the conspiracy theory junk so it doesn't get too far to the right or left. I replace the hate groups with puppy groups. Sometimes he'll mention how many dogs are on his feed nowadays, and it makes me smile. Aw, you're just trying to keep you. Listen, the internet, and I think in particular places like Facebook and stuff, can get very vitriolic. You're doing a good thing. Me and my wife woke up at 2 a.m. and smelled food cooking. Our neighbor was so drunk that he mistook our backyard for his and started grilling a bunch of burgers. Well, now you get a little bit of late night snackage, you know? Oh, look at his face too. He is sloshed, but he's cooking. He's on the grill. I don't know how to pronounce this town name. Las Cruces man breaks in the gas station, but still pays for the cigarettes. So you can see there, he's got, $6. I love how he's holding it up right to the camera. He's showing them, hey, I'm leaving money here. I want these. He was out of smokes. He needed to go on a smoke run. Play canceled after actor breaks character to fight an audience member. Me. Yeah, I just looked this up and it turned out it was a production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, a play which famously features a closeted gay lead character. A member of the audience was catcalling female actresses and shouting homophobic abuse when actor John Lacey, who played the character Big Daddy, paused his performance and called him out. The heckler replied, "What are you gonna do about it?" To which Lacey responded by leaping down into the audience and knocking him to the ground. And it's what Tennessee Williams would have wanted. It's true. And that's the promise anytime you go to a play. That's the play promise. Police. Florida man jailed after trying to barbecue all the chomos. Come on, let him out. He's not doing anything wrong. After Minnie Cox, what a name. I'm juvenile humor. The first black female postmaster was pressured out of her post in Mississippi. President Theodore Roosevelt continued to pay her salary and punished the town by rerouting their mail 30 miles away until they gave her back the position. And that's why Teddy Roosevelt's the GOAT, dude. Teddy Roosevelt is the president. He is him. Fake doctor arrested in Kenya after performing 8 successful surgeries. Wait, 8 successful surgeries? Like there was no mortalities, there was all good. I don't think you arrest him, I think you just give him a degree, like you just give him the PhD, right? That seems like the most obvious answer to me. A bank robber named Pretty Boy Floyd was known for destroying mortgage papers on heists, freeing hundreds of people from property debt. You are a bad guy, but this does not mean you are a bad guy. It's a very important distinction. All right, yeah, you took from the bank. Oh no, but you freed the common man. I think you gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet, you know what I mean? When I was pulling into my house earlier today, I saw private security chalking the tires of all the cars in the block. So when he left, I kindly went back and squirted all the tires with a water bottle to erase the mess. I was just being a good neighbor. We don't have an HOA, and the neighborhood is a series of different affordable apartments housed predominantly by immigrant non-white working class or retirees/seniors who don't leave their house much. Edit. For those asking, the purpose of chalking tires is to ensure the car is not stationary beyond whatever duration they have set for a neighborhood that they don't live in. Is that for like gauging a robbery? I don't understand why that would be a thing. Again, maybe this is just inexperience talking, but I've never seen that. Is that to just like case a house without having to look inside of it? QR code sticker for Factory Farm Education Doc. Oh, let's see it. Oh! Get 30% off this chicken purchase. Let's go. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Things my dentist has actually said to me. Well, either the x-rays lie to me or you are spontaneously creating teeth. I'm going with the second one because it's way cooler. When was the last time you flossed? Your gums aren't bleeding, which means either I'm not doing this hard enough or you actually floss your teeth regularly. You don't need to do a fluoride treatment. I just want to go check my Facebook for a second. This is the best excuse I can come up with. Don't worry, your insurance will cover it. Take a whole handful of toothbrushes. I can't order new ones in less ugly colors until these ones are gone. Remember not to eat or drink anything for a half hour. Oh, actually, you know what? Forget that. Go eat lemons and drink coffee right now. I make money based on people's bad decisions. You should probably stop brushing your teeth too. I became a dentist because I like making children cry and they don't let you do that as a regular doctor. Is this a chaotic neutral dentist? Your dentist sounds like the dude out of Little Shop of Horrors. What's his name? His name is Oren. Oren Scrivello was who I was thinking of. He sounds like maybe a more sarcastic, less evil Oren Scrivello. That's funny. The more random people you see jogging for no reason, the higher the rent is going up. Yeah, I heard a gunshot coming from my neighbor's yard late at night a few weeks after I moved in. I went to check it out, and when I approached him, he told me he does it once every month or so just to keep the property value and taxes at a reasonable level. I'm used to it now. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep things, affordable for the whole neighborhood. He's doing a community service. The public library made me buy this book because of some incredibly minor damage that was there before I checked it out. It's a pretty popular book that the library never replaced. That was 3 years ago. I removed all the stickers and chips and I'm now donating it back to the library. Oh, you mean this thing that they're never going to worry about because it's just minor cosmetic damage? Yeah, you're doing a good, you know what? Things are back to the way they were. It's balanced itself out in due time. Oh boy, Haryana's Gurugram residents hold authorities at gunpoint and made them construct road overnight, with 30 arrested. Well, there's a broken road. What do you expect us to do? Just drive over the broken road? This big patch of destroyed road? No, we need you to construct it. I took away all the towel seat reservations at the resort. I was on holidays at an all-inclusive resort. First day, we couldn't find any lounge chairs by the beach or by the sea. Fair enough, we arrived in the afternoon. Next day, we go to find a spot, but most of the spots were taken by towels. We find an empty seat, and to our surprise, many of the chairs stay reserved almost the whole day or never get used. Third day, we decide to take some towels off 2 loungers and enjoy our day. 4 hours in, an older couple shows up that they had towels there and kick us off with help from an attendant. That pissed me off. So every following day, I went to take the towels off every unattended lounger after breakfast, and then went to watch the chaos from my balcony. Many people complained, and by the end of the week, there was a sign that unattended towels would be removed. Success! You can't just claim a chair for the day and then not use it. Oh, that's gonna be mine, but you can't take it because it's mine. No. You gotta use it or lose it, dude. A biotech startup has managed to 3D print fake rhino horns that carry the same genetic fingerprint as the actual horn. The company plans to flood the Chinese rhino horn market at 1/8 of the price of the original, undercutting the price poachers get and forcing them out eventually. Hey man, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I like it. I like this move. I like the biotech strategy. I just finished beating someone up and I hate myself for it, but he kicked my cat. That's reasonable. More than reasonable. I just had a roommate coming to my house drunk and trying to start a fight with me, and when I didn't reciprocate, he kicked my 6-week-old kitten. I proceeded to beat his ass for 30 minutes. I feel very ashamed, but I love my cat. It's a 6-week-old kitten and he kicked it? It was multiple beatings in a 30-minute time frame. Yeah, beatings continue until morale improves. That's the rule. I thought we were all on the same page there. My friend is such a dangerous driver. Uses her phone, speeds, etc. She's a great person, but I'm terrified she'll cause an accident, so I purposely directed her down a road I knew a speed camera. She already had points and ended up losing her license, but the streets are safer. You do what you gotta do. Like I said, if you gotta get the job done, you gotta get the job done. This time of year, I grab weeds while I'm walking my dog and weave them into little reefs that I leave around the neighborhood. Specifically because there is a woman on Nextdoor who is furious because she thinks they're signs of witchcraft. I encourage you to do the same and let her think that the world's gone crazy. Decades in between and still doing it. Keith McHenry, the founder of the global movement Food Not Bombs, was arrested and jailed by the Santa Cruz Police Department today for the crime of serving food to the unhoused community members. Oh, the horror! And then on August 15, 1988, 9 Food Not Bomb volunteers, including co-founder Keith McHenry, were arrested for sharing food and literature with the unhoused. Oh, the humanity! Do it again. Do it again. I don't stop drinking because the owner of the bar has a family to feed, says a drunk. Did he say that, or did he kind of mumble that and you did your best to make out what he said? Either way, he's a hero and should be treated very delicately and carefully, or else he may throw up. Hey guys, I just wanted to put this out that I work at Walmart. I'm 16, and whenever I'm working in the aisle, anytime I see any product of Nestle, I put it on an overstock cart and hope that my managers will see that almost all Nestle products are always overstock, and hopefully stop ordering them at my Walmart. I know it's not that much, but I try. Hey man, it's the little things that count. Don't even worry about it. It's the little baby steps that count. A group of Philadelphians self-describing themselves as gutter pagans erased $1.6 million in local medical debt. They celebrated with an unofficial debt burning. Let's go, paid in full! My favorite 3 words. Oh, there we go. We're burning it. We're just burning that debt, getting it out of there. Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to see, a big burn. Can we all just appreciate the incredible vibes of my new employer taking an absolutely wild 1-star review and making it into a t-shirt? This place is full of satanic activity. Oh, well, what's the review? Let's see. This place is full of satanic activity. As free-breathing humans, we are discriminated against. The waitstaff refused to serve our laughing, smiling faces. I cannot believe the treatment we received here as if we were below them. If you like freedom, go elsewhere. Damn, dude, good looking out. Nice. All right. Sick t-shirt, though. I love it. Hey, secret police. If you ever kidnap me and throw me in a rental van, I will shit so bad inside that van. I hope your unconstitutional asses are ready to pay $1,700 to get my grown man feces out of that Chrysler Pacifica and whatnot. Grown man feces! Do what I gotta do. Poo where I gotta poo. If you arrest me unlawfully. Signs like these are going up in Aussie supermarkets. Special. We made over $1 million in profits while you can't even afford bread. It's on sale! Missouri trans, quote, snitch form down after people spammed it with the B-movie script. A Missouri government tip site for submitting complaints and concerns about gender-affirming care is down after people flooded it with fan fiction rambling anecdotes and the B-movie script. The Missouri government checking the website. You like jazz? We like jazz, and we also like gender-affirming care. We took it down. We took the site down with jazz. Zura Karuhimbi, I hope I said that name right, saved more than 100 people during the Rwandan genocide using her reputation as a witch to scare killers away. Whenever a militia neared her house, where she'd hidden would-be victims, she would shake her bracelets and threaten to curse them and their families. She would even touch them with a skin-irritating herb. They avoided their house. Yeah, because if you're a witch, that doesn't mean you're bad. What did Zangief say, or whatever his name is? You're a bad guy, but you're not a bad guy? It's the rule, dude. A 74-year-old man uses his hairdryer to slow traffic near his home, keeping the neighborhood safe. One deceptive, silly tactic at a time. I work at a credit card company. Someone replied to our offer by taping the no postage necessary flyer to a box full of their trash in a small boulder. Well, you know, it's important. Dude, that shit's amazing. Makes you amazing? Hell yeah, dude. Very forceful and very smooth with a hoppy aroma. I love it. Richard Bradley, dressed in a Union soldier's uniform, cuts down the Confederate flag from atop the 50-foot pole in front of San Francisco City Hall, April 15th, 1984. He climbed that? Dude, let him put up his own flag. Give him his own flag to hang up there. He was able to take that down, a 50-foot pole, no equipment. Give him his own flag. The man who had a few too many alcoholic beverages ordered an Uber for a baby goldfinch that he found struggling on the ground. The baby bird was sole passenger on the ride to a wildlife rehab. Had to take care of it. And you know what? That was a 5-star passenger. Solution. Before going on flights, buy a plastic pipette. Then, when you're on the flight and this happens, ask for a plastic cup from the air host/hostess. Go to the lavatory and use the cup as a reservoir. Fill the pipette with your urine. Slowly drop some droplets of urine on the poor idiot's feet until they get the message. Alternatively, bring a Sharpie on board and draw on their feet, or write something like, "I'm a selfish scumbag who sticks their feet onto other people's armrests." Alternatively, try and get some itching powder on board. They can't stick their feet in your space if they're busy scratching their feet. So this didn't have like a post before it to like prime me for what this was going to be about. Now that I understand that this was talking about people who put their feet on other people's armrests, this is a perfect solution. I feel like the P one is, you know, a little strange. Am I crazy, or is using words to ask someone to move their feet still on the table? Nope, not at that point. It's about the principle of the thing. Be me, be white. Have job in landscaping for multiple HOAs. Work with a lot of Latinos who speak little to no English. White lady comes up to me. Oh, thank God, someone who speaks English. Start speaking back to her in Dutch. Not quite, ma'am. Not quite. Lesbian escapes Russia by boat and sails to Canada to be with the woman she loves. That sounds like a movie plot. I would watch a movie about that, actually. The daring escape by boat, dodging Russian authorities. Sounds dope. Burglar gently waking me. You live like this? So I heard this story secondhand many years ago, but the gist was that a friend of a friend lived in what was generally considered to be a bad neighborhood because he was a super poor college student and was what he could afford. He didn't have any furniture, he just slept on a blanket on the floor and had a milk crate for a chair and an old wire spool as a table. No TV, nothing in the fridge, no microwave. Basically just bare walls and a roof to keep the weather off. So one day he comes home and there's a man in his apartment just standing there with this look of utter amazement and horror on his face. He turns to the guy who just entered and says, "This your place? 'Cause I broke in to rob you, but man, you ain't got nothing. Wait here, I'm gonna be right back." And the burglar left, leaving a puzzled college student alone in his empty apartment. But sure enough, the burglar came back a while later and brought some friends. And they delivered a table, a couple chairs, and a small TV. I think I got you a bed too, but that might take a couple days. So the poor college student made some friends and he didn't ask where they got the stuff. And that is true chaotic good. That is my favorite post of this entire thing. My ex-girlfriend had a few too many shots of tequila in a party and passed out on the couch. When I went to check her, I noticed she pissed all over the couch. To avoid embarrassment, I filled up a bucket with water and threw it over her to disguise it as a prank. She still has no idea. Now that's chaotic good, but chaotic evil would be to piss all over her to disguise the fact that she pissed herself. No, baby, don't understand. You peed when you were sleeping, so I peed on you to make it look like, I was helping. Fun history facts. One of the 31 people arrested at Stonewall on June 28, 1969 was American folk singer Dave Van Ronk, who was not at the Stonewall Inn at the time and was cis and straight as far as I'm aware. He'd been eating dinner at a nearby restaurant when he noticed a riot happening and said, "Well, I suppose I should go see what the fuss is about," stepped outside and immediately started throwing bricks at the cops. Just Dave Van Ronk things for a Dave Van Ronk kind of night. "Hey mister, would you like a puppy?" "No, but I'll take one." "Okay, I'm gonna cherish and care for this dog. There's nothing you can do to stop me." Aw, well that's exactly what we wanted. Women shouldn't say bad words. Retweet if you agree. Hello Nick, I'm a reporter with KLWG in Boise. I'm doing a story on men that have never pleasured a woman sexually. May I use your tweets? Well, since you asked so nicely, I'm gonna say yes on his behalf. I'm a straight man who married a dude. Ask me anything. I married him because I joined the Air Force, and if you're married, you get a housing pay and permission to live off base. He gets free healthcare. He's my best friend who's forever single and has mad health issues, including recurring prostate cancer. So you did the right thing. You helped your bro out, and now he's got free housing, right? That's how it works? Or just free healthcare. Either way, he's taken care of. You helped your bro out. Maybe this see if I can get conservatives to protest more stuff they love. Chevy and Marlboro are next. The Raptor Pride. In support of trans youth, we are proud to introduce our newest line of trucks. Built Ford Proud. Includes optional truck nuts. Aw, we got a gender-affirming truck, dude. I'm a long-haired native who doesn't steal, so whenever I get followed in a store, I keep the employee on my tail for as long as possible, to make it a little easier for people who need to steal to get what they need. It's the little things that count. This is what true chaotic good is all about. Woman on an American Airlines plane duct taped to the seat because she tried to open the door mid-flight. Oh my God. Now, I know that's a very tense situation, but I am living for the day that I see this on one of my, flights. The closest I've gotten to something crazy happening on a plane was on a Spirit Airlines flight. We were stuck at the gate. We had just landed in Atlanta and they hadn't connected the bridge to the plane door, so we couldn't leave the gate, you know what I mean? And a fight started to break out behind us. Me and Brianna are sitting in front of these guys, and it's a dude in the aisle and a dude in the seat, and they're bickering back and forth. It's a younger dude and an old white guy, and we all doing old white guy things, right? Being, generally intolerant. I mean, it was that kind of guy, you know what I mean? And at some point, me and Bree are listening in because we're chismosas. And the younger dude in the aisle goes, "Shut up with your bald ass." And there's silence that is quickly broken by Bree letting out a hearty, gleeful, just the most adorable little giggle that only she can muster. And then both of them look at me, the 6'4" big old dude who's standing in the aisle, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, this is a situation I gotta pretend I wasn't listening to now. That's the closest I've gotten to something this natural and beautiful in the wild on an airplane. The Satanic Temple of Missouri adopted the street in front of the Church of Scientology. Adopt a street. Oh, yep, see, it's right there. Satanic Temple of Missouri. You know, sometimes we just gotta adopt a road and name it after the Satanic Temple. It's just some things you gotta do. Text on bag reads, "As this text has no other purpose than to terrify those who are afraid of the Arabic language." And then who have you scared? Is there a list? I would like to know who to laugh, point, and giggle at. Oh, we got some squeezy. Sorry, we got some squeezy. Where are you? I f***ed up. How? I went to India, not Indiana. Dude, just tell me you don't love me. What the fuck? Isn't that the neck tattoo guy? I was at a party last night and he busted out a tattoo gun. I was like, hell yeah, I've been trying to get a sick neck tat forever. Well, I was pretty messed up and I already passed out. But when I woke up this morning, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? The guy was all like, that's your neck tattoo, homie. I was like, what the fuck you talking about? And he said, I gave you a neck tattoo. It looks exactly like your neck. I was like, I wanted a tattoo on my neck, not up my neck, you idiot. Then he was like, well, that's your fault for not specifying. They'll give you my $17. Dude, listen, you didn't specify. That's your problem, man. Squeezy, you have to be specific with these kinds of things. You can't just give them a general idea. I always do leave a compliment for Amazon delivery drivers, no matter how they actually did, because they were friendly. You got it, so that way they're, keeping their job. It's a bunch of, it's the little things, like I'm saying. Yeah, it's been a theme. It's the little things. Pro tip: replace your cat litter box with an Amazon box. When it's full, tape it up and place it on your front porch for someone to steal. Good prank. Glitter bomb trap? Nah. Once my brother got into a fist fight with a trans guy, and when he got sent to the principal's office, the principal kept going like, "How dare you hit a woman?" And my brother got so offended on the trans guy's behalf that he got into a fight with the principal too. My HOA sent me a letter that I need to have a fence blocking my trash cans from view. So they didn't say what the fence needs to look like.
I email my dentist twice a day. At it again. I do a lot of illegal crap, but littering is where I draw the line. Yeah, there's the axis of legality, and then you have another axis on the same graph of being a jerk. Baby formula is 19 pounds, and that's not a lot of formula. Like, I don't know if that's the powder or the liquids. This stuff comes in like a bunch of different variants, and some of it is just like appallingly sad. If I see a mother stealing formula, I'm gonna create a distraction. Yeah, even out here in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, it's in a glass case now. Like, it's just, you have to go get an associate. This lady at Jamba Juice just cut me in line, and the worker saw us, so when it was my time to order, he goes, "Congrats! You were the 18th customer today. You get a free drink of choice." Oh my fracking god, her face. Good job, employee. That's the only way to deal with this kind of crap. Make them really regret like the entire sequence of events that they did, so that maybe they will do it in the future. Omaha man paints his house in rainbow colors after neighbors said derogatory words to him about gay man that didn't sit well. I love the house. I love the sentiment. We gotta talk about grammar and like structuring your sentences, because it sounds like a gay man couldn't sit down right. This is the only way to respond to this kind of crap. This is why Pride is so loud. Not everybody who wears Pride colors is just like, yeah, no, me. They're like, hey, I'm wearing it for the people that still get hated on for no darn reason, because other people are arrogant enough to think that they have a say over other people's lives. Bus drivers in Japan went on strike, I heard about this, by continuing to drive the route while refusing to take fares from passengers, keeping Japan on time, but costing the bus companies. Yeah, I saw this before. Absolutely love it. I wish that's how more strikes works. It's just like, no, we'll keep doing our jobs, but you won't make any money. Man gets cancer on cancerous growth, killing the growth and ending his cancer. task failed successfully. Kind of terrifying to get another form of cancer that's like worse than the first one, enough to kill it. My mom has a friend who has a failed program service dog, and he's literally my favorite creature. He's a really smart lab. He learned all the commands, but he just has an affinity for doing them whenever he wants. So this lady's dog literally turns on and off lights, opens doors, opens the fridge, etc., all at his own wishes. Her home looks like it's baby-proofed, with kid-safe locks on everything and stuff, but really she just has a dog that's learned all of the mobility service dog commands, but has a mind of his own. I'm being helpful, right? Would you like this cupboard opened? What about this light on? Am I being helpful? Client did not pay? Add opacity to the body tag and decrease it every day until their sight completely fades away. 15 years ago, 5 friends and I drunkenly painted a crosswalk on a dangerous street in our college town. Shockingly, people actually used it, and the city installed a legitimate crosswalk there soon after. Now it's in a national publication. The keys for guerrilla crosswalks. Somebody who has to bike everywhere, I fully support this. Neighbor kept letting his dog crap in my yard. Not cool, clean it up please. That's very nice and wholesome. Sorry, swept through the yard, just in case. We are leashing our dogs to prevent this. Aw, also got you a new pencil. Thanks for your patience. Aw, oh my god, it's like an actual good neighbors interaction. Coming from Florida with HOAs and stuff, like this is fantastic. Nobody got fined. No old guy thought he owned your property. This is great. Never forget that Ford was 100% ready to fracking shoot a man just so Mabel could keep her pet pig. I love Gravity Falls so much. I don't know who needs to hear this, but photo enforcement cameras hold 5.5 pounds of copper. I also strongly advise against aiming a laser at them or any kind of construction foam or foaming wasp spray. All of these are very bad things. You should leave those cameras alone. 5.5 pounds of copper is about $20. Spot price, but hey, one person's treasure, another person's copper. The artist holding valuable art hostage to protect Julian, I can't say that his last name. Using a 32-ton Swiss bank safe, Andrei Moloudkin says he will destroy works by Picasso, Rembrandt, Warhol if the WikiLeaks founder dies in prison. Yes, good, excellent. I had to go and actually look this up again because I'd kind of forgotten what had happened. In general, the best way to not have embarrassing leaks come out about you is to not do shady stuff. Pro tip. Conservation group buys out hunting rights in BC's Great Bear Rainforest to protect wildlife. The tenure covers a quarter of the Great Bear Rainforest. That's fantastic. Yeah, we have a lot of hunting here, but it's not bear, to my knowledge. It's like deer, because if we didn't, oh my god, this place would be overrun. Anonymous love note on my neighbor's mat this morning. Dear neighbor, I want drop this the morning. It's a hard time being over. So I'm not going to read the whole thing that way. But basically, they're just going to bring their neighbor's crap over to them or leave it on your car. You're welcome. Sincerely, someone who was raised right. Oh, I like that last line. That's fantastic. Reporter wears grape costume to defend boy suspended for banana suit. Real recognizes real. I remember reading this years ago. I want a reprisal of this. Most of our clothes are too boring nowadays. We need more great costumes and banana suits. Kropotkin? He wrote some books about being chaotically good. Red Bread Redemption? How did he get published with the Rockstar logo and everything? The Conquest of Bread. Penny auction. Foreclosure. The term arose during the foreclosure of farms during the Great Depression in the United States. Neighbors would gather in large numbers at the auction and place bids of only a few pennies while intimidating anyone who attempted to bid competitively. In the end, the bank that owned the farm would get whatever was bid, and the neighbors would return the farm and its contents to the farmer. No, you just can't buy back your farm for only a few pennies? Someone else place a bid. 50 cents for my farm back. Silence. Armed society, polite society. This is my dad when he married my mom. I asked him, why were you dressed like this to the wedding? And he said, your mom invited me to the wedding, but she didn't tell me who. I got nothing. Chaoticgood doesn't mean chaotic nice. Far too true. How do I watch in Australia? Al Yankovic, one of my heroes. Roka's working on it. In the meantime, there's VPN, very probably no way to watch it legally. I'm sure you have a torrent of other questions, but I have to move along. Sorry, I love Riverdale so much. Reject your homeowners association. Grow corn on your front lawn. I mean, there's corn like 2 minutes that way. I'm pointing. We did not buy a home in a homeowners association, and I'm still shocked that they are at all legal. If you want my private property to look a specific way, you best be paying for it. Because if I have to pay to stay here to own this property, I'm gonna make it look however I want. There's literally no law that says you can't put your friends down as your references and pretend they were your boss at an old job. Literally, there's no law that says that. This is true. I wouldn't recommend doing it for anything more than like a very entry-level job, because for an entry-level job, they should just be making sure that you're not gonna steal a bunch of stuff and set the place on fire. This probably isn't gonna go too well at more advanced jobs, like ones with technicals. That won't go well. Best way to deal with a scammer. I was teaching a classroom of middle schoolers, 6th grade, and I got a scam call. So I told my class to scream into the microphone all at once. The loudest high-pitched scream emitted by a middle school echoed throughout the school, which made it louder and more unbearable. He hung up. Probably traumatized for life. I've also seen another one that's really good that doesn't require an entire freaking like coordinated thing. Is just throw it under a pot. Just like, hello? Make sure it's a scammer. Throw it under a pot and just start beating the crap out of the pot. And it just cook the phone in sound. I curse thee, warrior. Everyone you date will find their soulmate 3 months after you break up. So, what kind of relationship are you looking for? A short one. I'm going to make so many people happy. Oh my, this is actually something I would do. This is totally something I would do. Yes, and just like, okay, fine, screw you. I'm gonna repurpose this and get so many people their soulmates so much quicker. I'm going to warp fate with the powers you have given me. Making a hidden shrine for Mike Wazowski and hiding it in a public library for people to find. Oh my god, that's amazing. I feel like hiding things in public libraries would just be like a fun variant of geocaching. This is like fantastic. This is way beyond the level I was imagining. But I mean, if you want to make the cathedral to Wazowski, like, I'm not gonna stop you. India's saving endangered rhinos with one simple trick. Poachers hate them. Kaziranga's ruthless rangers have reduced rhino poaching by simply gunning down poachers on site. An armed society is a police. We tried all these things to stop the poachers and nothing's working. What if we just shot the poachers? Oh my god, you're right. This is something out of Florida. Asking to get pulled over. Motherfrackers stole my plate. Called 911. They wouldn't send anyone out. Went to buy. They need an officer to sign paper. Please pull me over. So they've created a situation. Sorry, that was so poorly read. There was just handwriting in sideways, like at an angle. So they created a situation where somebody stole your plate. 911 wouldn't help you. You couldn't get an officer to escort you to the DMV and sign off on it. That's infuriating. Again, like, the license plate is for, you know, everyone else. It's not for you. The car does not require a license plate to go. This dude's doing his best to, like, comply with the laws. My teacher counts the silly answer as correct. Changing ride height will affect wheel alignment. I agree. I disagree. So will hitting a curb at 100 miles an hour. HR at my work just called me, and I thought I was in trouble for something, but they just let me know my 11-year-old sister has been commenting on their Instagram every day, telling them to give me a raise. Oh, that's wholesome. That's really sweet. Passive-aggressive gardening. Neighbor and I don't get along. He's a very unhappy person, so to brighten up both of our lives, I planted wild roses on our property border. Every time I hear him curse about shoots popping up everywhere, I smile inside. Catnip is also a good idea. It's a pretty plant and will of course attract some friends from the neighborhoods. There's also some sort of ground cover thing that like spreads incredibly quickly. When I was in 4th grade, I was in the gifted program. Hell yeah. And they let us go to the library more often. What? Which meant we had more chances to take the accelerated reader tests and get points. And whoever reached a certain threshold got to go to Chuck E. Cheese. So I go around asking people I knew, had a hard time reading, what their logins were, and sneak in to take tests for them so they could go to Chuck E. Cheese too. Aw, I got caught and they didn't let me go to Chuck E. Cheese, but it was worth it. Frack you. That's something, that's also something I probably would have done. You are now entering a stress-free zone.
Enforced by Sniper.
Hey, do you feel stressed? Do you? I sure hope not. Snow work and all play. Retirement home nurses host indoor snowball fight. That's absolutely wonderful. The late December snowball fight activity was just one of many ways the Luverne facility keeps its residents physically active without the intimidation or boredom that can come with traditional workouts. Marissa Nelson, activity director at Luverne, said the main goal was to get residents moving. Oh, I love that so much. That's fantastic. This woman just farted so loud in the bathroom, I could just feel she was embarrassed, so I farted back just to make her not feel so alone. Social media has some great gems of holiday advice. My younger brother is trans. My parents have been horrendous about dead naming and misgendering him. So at Thanksgiving, I used an air horn to correct them. I fixed the 2 to 3 year long problem in 2 seconds. 10 out of 10 would recommend this training method. That's the correct way. That's what I wish I could. No, I just like walk away. If you're getting misgendered, like you just kind of blow it off or make fun of them back, or it's just your standard sort of response, poke back, whatever you're in the mood for. But if somebody else is getting misgendered, like you're way more defensive of them. Like if your best friend is getting misgendered, you are like all teeth and nails. Someone spray painted over a speed camera by my house. I have no legal commentary on this. I have lots of commentary. None of it's legal. Look, if you want people to slow down, put a speed bump in. Mexico City, AP. At first, it sounds like a typical case of bad behavior aboard airplanes. Like how that's linked, like there's a whole Wikipedia catalog of all the crazy crap. But the Mexico City International Airport acknowledged in a statement Friday that a man had opened an emergency exit and walked on the wing of a plane that was parked and waiting for takeoff Thursday. The airport said the man had been turned over to the police, but dozens of fellow passengers signed a written copy of a statement saying the airline made them wait for 4 hours without ventilation or water while the flight was delayed. According to photos of the statement posted online, fellow passengers said he acted to protect everyone with the support of everyone. The airport said in a statement that yesterday, a passenger on a flight to Guatemala opened an emergency door on a plane while it was stationary at a remote position, stood on a wing, and then re-entered the cabin, probably realizing how tall the wings of aircraft actually are, which are pretty tall, without affecting the aircraft or anyone else. Yeah, I know they have the whole in the US, they have the whole 2-hour waiting thing vouchers, but I think after a certain point, it's just like, no, I'm getting off. Like, we're parked, I'm leaving, I'm done. Found this roadkill deer and stood it up to slow down traffic. I mean, if it'll get people to slow down, good. Way too many people fly around like mountain roads and stuff. According to legend, Cole once hosted a party at which the guests discovered that they all had the word bottom in their surnames. According to another story, he bought tickets for particular seats at a theatrical performance he considered pretentious and distributed them to 8 bald men whose heads, painted with a single letter, spelled out the word bollocks. Another source claims it was 4 men's heads, making the word frack, which was legible from the circle and boxes above. That's a really good idea. I just learned the term guerrilla gardening. Gardening. Strawberries planted in public. Oh my God. The terror, guerrilla gardening on a Los Angeles street. That's just fantastic. Thank you so much. I can't believe you were able to save my house from that fire. Pow. Sigh, the captain is the most dedicated firefighter I've ever met. So why does he have to act like such a terrible human being? 50 years later. And now for the final step of my plan. Beep, 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 beep. Bring it, Satan. This is like the bit in Doom, but at one point there's a boss fight. You finally kill the boss, and the boss falls through to hell, and you do too, and you have to fight them again in hell. This is fantastic. Just watch a man bringing home a goldfish on the train accidentally pop the bag, fish flops onto the floor, 3 people swarm to save him. The fish, not the man. Guy chugs the last of his coffee and throws the fish in his cup. Lady next to him empties her bottle of water. You see the craziest stuff on the subway? This doesn't surprise me at all. You can't give her that, it's not safe. It's a sword. They're not meant to be safe. She's a child. It's educational. What if she cuts herself? That will be an important lesson. Yeah, I'm glad things overall are safer nowadays. Furious mother squirted her boob at a woman who told her to move while she was breastfeeding because it was distracting her husband. What the hell's wrong with the husband? Like, I get it. Tits are pretty, but like, can you not? Tired of telling your landlord about the moisture and mold problem? Get an oyster mushroom kit. So they can't ignore it anymore. I just saw this on Reddit. This is terrifying, but fantastic. Does this count if you just self-test without evidence of having done anything chaotic good? Moral alignment test. I think this actually, because like, I'm somewhere between chaotic good and chaotic neutral, depending on the day. But in practice, I'm usually like lawful good to neutral good. Thank you, kind vandal. Nearest free machine, Tesco. 5 minutes. Lundis Garden, Elm Bank Street. 2 minutes. That's wonderful. I love that. There was some in New York that would charge you $4. In the deli near my college was like $1.99. It was painful. Someone made a rather unique donation to the Children's Hospital. Oh no. Someone donated like 200 of them Ian Malcolm Funko Pops, and we can't get rid of them. What? That's incredible. The donor is truly a master of chaos theory. Okay. This isn't chaotic good, it's chaotic cringe. Oh, shut up. Don't worry about people talking about you behind your back. Of course they do. The local villagers always have legends about the terrifying things they meet in the dark. Make the things they say about you be in whispered tones. Ancient evil awakens. Morals and ethics have changed so much in the last 10,000 years that the ancient evil is considered pretty moderate by today's standards. The ancient evil is just a corporation. I will topple your empires and your kings. I will drain the wealth from your coffers and elevate your serfs and servants until they stand on the same ground as the mightiest of emperors. Women shall freely speak their minds, unbound by the fetters you have set, and the lines between man and woman shall be hopelessly blurred and shattered into 1,000 pieces. Facets, whatever. Your children shall fall into one another regardless of sex or class or wealth, and none shall raise a hand or a word against them. Well, we're working on the last part. The age of crowns and boundaries and divine rights shall end, and it shall fall to each human to choose their— why are you cheering? I kicked burning terrorists so hard in the balls that I tore a tendon in my foot. Good job. Ow. Move to the middle of nowhere and disrupt its service for the rural ISP's network, downloading AI models. He gets in touch, and the guy quadruples my speed and tells me to only run it at night. Aw, good job. Up to 200 wow. Okay, so it was cable. Thank you for getting back to me. I do need more bandwidth, blah, 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 blah. Yep, I work with AI. Be able to run a speed test for me? I think I can get you 250 meg with your current setup. Very fair, thank you. Aw, that's very sweet. My neighbor has a wooden board with a picture of Trump's face on it that says 2024 in his front yard. Me and the guy is just super glued a ding-dong to Trump's nose. Looks great. He's out there trying to yank it off. His wife's yelling, grab it with both hands. That's beautiful. That's just absolutely beautiful. Sister-in-law had her driving test today. There are 3 possible spots they use to test reversing round a corner, and one of them she just couldn't master. So stepdad Ken went and parked his car there, so the examiner had to pick one of the other 2. Anyway, she passed. Yeah, unless you live in New York or like a really small like fishing town or something with like no space, you're not gonna need to parallel park that much in the US. And by the time you do need to parallel park, it will have been years and you'll have forgotten how to do it anyway. So like, Stepdad Ken, you're the hero we all need. Saw this in my town today. Can't we all just get along? I agree, that sounds great. Stop trying to make medical decisions for other people, especially trans kids. And then, yeah, we can get along.
A chaotic good vandalism. Goody. Being nice is so easy. Just do it. Oh, it really is. But that is the unfortunate thing. It is also so easy to not be nice. As much as I'd wish it was true, it's far more true that being mean and being nice are on a very equal scale of effort. Australia's national saying is a clear example of this. Depending on who hears it, I'm being nice or I'm being rude. This shelter cat was put into solitary confinement for helping other cats escape. You crafty little devil, you.
Hey, come on, we just wanted a trip to the fish market. Hey, I'm not saying anything until I speak to my meowyer. It's a lawyer joke. Hey, you're laughing.
French environmentalists targeted sites near Toulouse, calling golf the leisure industry of the most privileged. Now, at first I felt inclined to point out that golf isn't only for rich people, it's just that rich people more commonly play it because it's a much more leisurely, easily game and sport. It's like archery and bowls mixed into one. But then I read the headline at the bottom. Climate activists fill golf holes with cement after water ban exemption. And with that in mind, fill more. You go, activists. Seriously, why don't they just convert the grass to fake grass? Sure, they'd have to re-turf the entire course over time, but I'm sure it would save you a lot of money. Now, cue someone in the comments making one simple basic point that points out how stupid my idea is. Jesse James, an outlaw, once gave a widow who housed him enough money to pay off her debt collector and then robbed the debt collector as the man left the widow's home. I hold your oath fulfilled. How I wished the internet was around back in those days. You know how many stories like this could have just been gone from history and we'd never know? Chicago man arrested after repeatedly stealing guns off of officers using a toy dino grabber. At that point, you don't arrest the guy. You pay him for his services, pointing out the gaps and flaws in your system. It's like how banks and security companies put bounties on any hackers who are able to successfully get through their system. You don't punish people for doing it, you reward them. So go on, police, reward this person. So yeah, placing bounties where people attempt to disarm police officers, I see no flaws in that. Controversial opinion, but I don't think people should go to jail for objectively funny crimes. Exactly, so if you can make the police officer laugh while you're assaulting them, it's fine. Was I asphyxiating them with laughing gas? That's irrelevant, Your Honor. A Florida man accidentally locked his 1-year-old daughter in his car, and 5 prisoners out on work detail used a coat hanger to break her out. The mother who took a video of it said, "Them prisoners bust that Schmidt right open, so thank God for the criminals in this world." You are a bad guy. But this does not mean you are a bad guy. Today I learned when the head of the Pirate Bay, Peter Sund, was arrested, he asked to phone his girlfriend so she could lock the doors of his house before going with the policeman. The policeman said yes. Instead, he pushed a button on an app that immediately encrypted all servers of the Pirate Bay. Oh, if I was that officer, I don't think I'd ever recover from this. Hey, necromancer, you're under arrest. You can't be raising the dead anymore.
Oh no, can I at least just take a book with me to read while you're processing the charges?
That checks out. Go ahead, pick your favorite book. Legend. Leg End. The Pirate Bay team are easily some of my favorite people on the planet. Oh yeah, that trial was hilarious. Neither the prosecutor nor the judges had any idea how anything of the Pirate Bay worked. Like, they didn't even understand they never had any offices. I could imagine having an advanced understanding of computer technology back in the early 2000s. You were basically a god of the modern world. Governor Greg Abbott failed to secure governorgregabbott.com, so now I own the domain and I've created this new website. Enjoy! This is the true reason we have elections. Not because we want to find out who's best to run the country. No. It's purely so that we can parade someone around and throw pies at them, metaphorically. That's the true political career. Volunteering/competing with others to be absolutely shamed, exposed, and laughed at and hated upon by almost the entire population, and and the reward is a possibility of having power over all those people who wronged you. Not gonna lie, genuinely sounds like the next reality show Netflix is gonna try and push. Oopsie, something's wrong with this door. Have fun ignoring the repair now. I get that there are like certain avenues you can go to as a tenant when things aren't addressed, but sometimes this is genuinely the only way. Because I mean, like what? Oh, how dare a tenant let you know that this property you own and are investing in is falling apart and needs to be, kept in good condition so you can sell it for a good price in the future. Don't get me wrong, if you as a tenant never clean the oven, you're an a-hole and you deserve to be kicked out. But I'm speaking for people who actually are trying to be good tenants. My dad used to live in a really bad area growing up, surrounded by a lot of gangs. And he told me that there was this kind, openly gay boy that used to tutor all these gang leaders for free. And one day, a homophobe insulted him and 5 gangs found out and went to go beat him up. One very important thing I feel like many people don't realize when it comes to gang activity and gang leaders of sorts, for many, it's their only opportunity for some sense of stability and control in their lives. It's not surprising that the places that successfully get rid of gang activity are places that actually give young adults opportunities. In 2018, a Russian hacker broke into 100,000 people's routers, but with good intentions. See, he didn't do any fraud, but only changed their settings so that they don't get hacked in the future by others. Professionals have standards. This gives me the same energy as that guy on TikTok who literally goes up to random people's houses to be like, hey, can I mow your lawn for my TikTok for free? And the homeowners are just astounded. You can tell they've had no time or just completely given up on their house because of how much the lawn looks. And this dude's just wholesomely mowing the lawn. Say what you want about TikTok, but it does bring a bit of the community together in a way too. It also makes people realize they have a weird fetish for mowed lawns now, but that's not important. Let's move on. All-time move from Liquid Death just dropped. Company releases iced tea/lemonade drink named Armless Palmer. Arnold Palmer's estate threatens to sue Liquid Death over the name. Liquid Death rebrands the drink to Dead Millionaire. Literally even putting it in their advertising. If you like our Armless Palmer tea lemonade, then you're going to love our new Dead Billionaire lemonade. Why? Because it's the exact same thing, only now it has a way cooler name that won't require us to fight a senseless legal battle with a large enterprise who sent us a letter saying we can use the word Palmer, and who are also partnered with a giant iced tea corporation. So it wasn't about moral standards, it was just about competition. Both of whom have far more money to burn on legal fees than we do. Our new Dead Billionaire icons have started to trickle out on Amazon and will begin hitting retail shelves this spring. Oh, I love this. Experts are predicting potential brawls in retailers as customers fight over remaining Armless Palmer cans before they become extinct forever and reselling as collector's items for billions. I sincerely doubt that, but I do love your confidence. Yeah, it must be hard being the little dog in the fight when you're only valued at 700 million. God. Arizona iced tea is valued at around $3 billion. Yeah, wow, I thought you were being snarky about a company worth $700 million being the little guy, and then you mentioned the other being over quadruple that. What the frick? Okay, but like, at some point, there has to be a threshold towards the quality of lawyer you can get, right? Or do lawyers just like constantly inflate themselves the moment they find out someone else out there has like got a net worth of $5 billion? They're like, oh, I gotta raise my costs by an extra $1 million to meet with, possible demand. Don't let the world fool you. Consistent kindness is the most quietly powerful thing. Okay, this totally sounds like a Disney villain monologue.
If you ever want to engage in villainy and undermine the social order, be especially kind to the people society has rejected. Care about the ones the world would convince you don't deserve your kindness. I genuinely mean this when I say to you, the ultimate act of rebellion is insisting on compassion and grace in a compassionless world.
Cool. Disruptive compassion. Got it. Yeah, reblogging because I have a lot of feelings about this and because I believe very strongly in that the most punk rock and badass thing you can ever do is live your life with aggressive empathy and kindness. Here's your Christmas present. Yeah, I know you said I didn't need to get you anything, but I don't care what you think. I don't mind straight people, as long as they act gay in public. Well, joke's on you, I'm mistaken for gay all the time. Ha ha ha, it made me really insecure in high school. I'm straight, but I act gay in public because to Southerners, there is nothing more terrifying than a 6'5", 380-pound ex-SEC football player covered in tattoos with a righteous beard who is quite flamboyant.
I want to see the distraught look on their faces. I would pay to see that.
Oh my god! Is that person doing something that has no effect on my life?
Homophobes like this fascinate me. It's like poking your eyeball at the mount of an anthill that's next to the road and being like, "Get off the road! I can't get past ya!" I paid for this ad spot because I hate ads. Enjoy this pic of a cute turtle instead. Peace. And they no doubt got far more shares than any company ad would ever get. In ad companies' defense, that is a very cute pic. It was probably because of this guy that a lot of ad companies realized they should just share memes instead of, because, it's shocking revelation. Turns out people are more likely to share memes or images they like than, ads. Burglar gently waking me.
Hey, you live like this?
Oh my gosh, so I heard this story secondhand many years ago, but the gist was that a friend of a friend lived in what was generally considered a bad neighborhood because he was a super poor college student and it was what he could afford. Now, he didn't have any furniture. He just slept on a blanket on the floor and had a milk crate for a chair and like an old wire spool as a table. No TV, nothing in the fridge, no microwave, basically just bare walls and a roof to keep the weather off. So one day, he comes home and there's a man in his apartment just standing there with this look of utter amazement and horror on his face. And he turns to the guy who just entered and says,
This your place? Cause I broke in to rob you, but hell, man, you ain't got nothing. Wait here, I'm gonna be right back.
And the burglar left, leaving a puzzled college student alone in his empty apartment. But sure enough, the burglar came back a while later and brought some friends, and they delivered a table, a couple of chairs, and a small TV.
I think I got you a bed too, but that might take a couple of days.
So, the poor college student made some friends, and he didn't ask where they got the stuff. Okay, I do not doubt for a second this is probably a very elaborated or fake story, but who cares, I believe there are some sort of degree of Robin Hoods out there like this. Store employee doesn't like musk. The stench or the person? Sorry, I forget that they're the same thing. 25%, 25% off, 25% off, clown, 25% off. Since the Bible says not to charge interest on loans, I think the Dems should propose a bill that removes all interest on student loans and use this as justification. Make the GOP state out loud, repeatedly, that the Bible can't be used to make policy. I do love the incentive. I am far more afraid of them doubling down on this, though. Because if they do approve of this, you've basically given them the green light to push through anything they themselves want to use the Bible as justification for. Because, hey, we permitted it with the interest rates, they can permit it with everything else now. I deleted and reinstalled my Parler app, and it's back up. For those who might have forgotten, Parler launched as a free speech alternative to Twitter, a wholesome garden of Eden for conservatives who wanted to complain about minorities.
Thanks for the wrong info. I deleted my app and there isn't a new one, and now mine is gone. Remove this post as its information is wrong.
Ah, now you care about the correct information. Feels rather annoying, doesn't it, when someone spreads misinformation? I knew a guy who sold weed in high school and college. One time, he made pot brownies to sell. In the process, he discovered a love for baking. Dude's a pastry chef now, wears cute aprons, and they say drugs lead you to ruin. It led to this man's aspiring career. In an unforgiving environment with barely decent pay rates and fairly unappreciative clients who think they could make it themselves if they really tried. I share this omen as someone who knows someone who worked in this industry. Since we're all talking about leaving Twitter again, can I bring back the idea of migrating to LinkedIn en masse and just totally destroying the professional vibe over there? Come on, people, if we can destroy the stock exchange through GameStop, I'm sure we can do this. I believe in the power of mutual... what's the word? Disdain? Ruining something overtly rich people make too big of a deal out of. Meanwhile, in the I'm White and I'm Proud of It public group on Facebook. Hi, I'm Justin, one of 57 members. I've collected enough racist stuff here for the group I'm in that outs racists. It is currently being forwarded to your employers. I even noticed some active military, which is extremely disappointing as a vet myself. Those are being forwarded to your commands and you expect your discharges to be forthcoming. I hope you all have fun waiting in the unemployment line. Oh, now, you can't be upset. After all, you're proud of it. Oh, what a shame that some of those profile photos show them with kids. The fact that we only have Herculean task and Sisyphean task feels so limiting. So here's a few more tasks for your repertoire. Icarian task. When you have a task you know you're going to fail at anyways, so why not have some fun with it before it all comes crashing down? So essentially anyone born after the year 2000 not in a high-income family bracket trying to make their way through capitalism. I'm not nihilistic, no! Cassandrian task. When you have to deal with people you know won't listen to you, despite having accurate information, and having to watch them fumble about when you told them the solution from the start, most often witnessed in customer service, or as a woman in a misogynist workplace. Feel free to chime in, I ran out of ideas much faster than I anticipated. I'm gonna need the smart pants in the comment section to explain to me what the references here are of Icarian and Cassandrian and Herculean and Sisyphean. I feel like it's got something to do with the Greeks. But, yep, that's all it goes to in my brain. That's as far as I can reach. The more random people you see jogging for no reason, the higher the rent is going up. I hate how this is actually kind of accurate. This is why you should always support your local gang. They help keep property prices down. I heard a gunshot coming from my neighbor's yard late at night a few weeks after I moved in. I went to check it out. When I approached him, he told me he does it once every month or so, just to keep the property value and taxes at a reasonable level. I'm used to it now. I hate when people say, "Eat the rich!" Like, grow up. Jeff Bezos is gonna feed, what, 20 people? Maybe 30? We'd be better suited using the rich to fertilize high-yield crops like potatoes or cucumbers. In this presentation, I will explain an agricultural model based on the... Oh wow, that's a long presentation. But I'm not doing anything! This is bullshit! That's loitering. If you'd like to contest your ticket, you can go to the...
Hey, officer, is this your car?
Yes.
I'm gonna flip it over.
Hey,
better stop me.
Hey, what the f***? You're supposed to be on our side!
You do know what the word vigilante means, right?
Pretty Boy Floyd was an American bank robber who often destroyed mortgage documents while robbing banks, freeing many citizens of their debts. Though Floyd was involved in numerous murders and robberies, he had a positive public image and was known as the Robin Hood of the Cookson Hills. Also, Twitter is blowing who now? In 1994, the KKK applied to sponsor a section of the I-55 highway near St. Louis, Missouri, and the Supreme Court ruled the state could not refuse the sponsorship. So, the state of Missouri decided to rename the entire stretch of highway the Rosa Parks Freeway.
Oopsie, you supported something that's against your own cause.
So, I live next door to a couple, a very conservative couple, and their twin boys. The boys can't be more than 8, and like most kids, they like to play in the backyard, which is totally fine. Doesn't bother me at all. They're kids and like to run around. What bothers me though is that they love to throw their toys over into my yard. A lot of toys. Action figures, balls, frisbees, rackets, etc. Now them throwing them over don't really bother me that much. What bothers me is that the parents keep demanding that we have to throw them back. They don't ask, they don't knock on the door and apologize. They just yell over their fence when they know that we are outside and tell us to give it back. And that bothers me. They also seem to encourage their kids to throw it over to our yard. So, after Christmas, I was at the store and saw that they had a ton of Barbies, nail polish, Bratz doll frisbees, and balls on the clearance. I bought 5 of everything I could find that I knew my neighbors would hate seeing their sons play with. Every time an action figure gets thrown over to my yard, I will throw a Barbie back with it. Every time a ball gets thrown, a Bratz ball will be returned. I already threw a couple nail polishes over and the twins went crazy. They loved it. They've had pink, purple, and green nails all week. It's been 2 days and not a single action figure has crossed my fence. More importantly, not a single rude demand from the parents to return them. The kids are having fun and I have petty revenge. Oh, editor, could you just wipe away the R that's in the second last word there? Okay, great. I just gotta get my Sniper Wolf impression on.
Aw, hell nah. More petty revenge, more like pretty revenge. And I bet those parents are feeling pretty stupid.
This came out of my dad's printer at work today.
Hi! If you're reading this message, it's highly likely that your printer is exposed to the public internet via port forwarding. Woo! This means that anyone on the internet with some technical knowledge can send print jobs to your printer. Or worse, try to exploit it and use it as a part of a global botnet. If you didn't intend for this, please look into disabling Universal Plug and Play on your router or remove the port forwarding rule for the port 9100. Signed, a friendly catgirl hacker. Ooh.
K-Star News. Lesbian escapes Russia by boat and sails to Canada to be with the woman she loves. Frickin' hell yeah, man. Sure, we don't live in that timeline where there's only one of that dealer who will literally cut you off if he thinks your life's getting too better. But in this timeline, Russia did sell Alaska to America, so at least we do have that. And okay, I got curious just to fact check that in case I was getting that slightly wrong. And no, I was right, but just all the nuance around it is fascinating. Googling, did Russia sell Alaska to America? America, back in 1867, paid Russia $7.2 million, which, I mean, that back then, insane. But to those uneducated as to why Alaska is American and, like, Canada didn't own Alaska or buy it at all, well, it turns out Canada didn't exist as a country back then. It was all still basically Britain, and Russia did not want to sell it to Britain. Essentially, the only reason Alaska is not part of Canada is because Russia was just like, screw you, Britain. I'm giving this to your ex. We're best friends now, and we'll never hate each other ever. After the description of your dad's genitalia, the first black female postmaster was pressured out of her post in Mississippi. The President Theodore Roosevelt continued to pay her salary and punish the town by rerouting their mail 30 miles away until they gave her back the position. Okay, I do feel kind of bad and wrong for using their name in that inappropriate joke, but at the same time, I was stating a fact. Anti-LGBTQ street preacher drowned out with saxophones on New York Street. Yeah, that's why I'm allowed to play my saxophone loud into the night. I'm not being noisy and disruptive to my neighbors. I'm practicing the power to silence hate speech. I'm doing a good thing. You're the bad, rude person who's ruining everything for everyone by not letting me annoy you and make you struggle to sleep. Yes. Billy Joe Armstrong is like the definition of chaotic good. A prime example of this is the fact that one time at a Green Day concert, this guy in the pit was harassing a young girl, so Billy stopped the show to help her. However, his way of doing so was to jump into the audience, drop kick the guy directly in the face, and then fight him in a crowd of screaming fans. This is missing the best part. When he saw the guy, he tried to be like, dude, stop, and when the man didn't stop pushing the girl around, he screamed, "Fine! You wanna fight? I'll frickin' fight you then!" and leapt directly into the crowd. There's a reason Green Day was my favorite band in high school, and Billy Joe Armstrong is it. I am absolutely all for Green Day. Green Day the musical, however... Do not waste your time! Oh my god, is it bad? Hey, moody teenager number 73. Good song about how you're feeling. Hey, did someone say it's September now? Summer has come and what, just saying September has triggered you into a song now? Okay, alright. Yeah, that makes sense. I remember an article during the first wave of the pandemic of a teenager in the US making a fortune and being called a young businessman. Essentially, he was scalping anything that was popular while everyone was locked in, including video game consoles. Frick off. Oh yeah, I bought 6 PS5s from one guy on eBay when it first launched. He was selling them for $2,000 a piece. I had no intention of paying, but kept indicating I'd pay so that eBay didn't cancel the transaction. It postponed him selling them for about a month, and he had to drop the price to around $1,200 each, essentially losing him $4,800 profit. Say what you will about my morality, but I don't give a schmidt. I hate scalpers. He was so angry he somehow found my personal info and threatened my family. What a piece of work. When I called his bluff, he said he'd call the hospital I worked at and tell them. I said, you want to call the ICU I work at during a pandemic and tell them one of their nurses is screwing with you on eBay and you think they'll give 2 schmitts? I'll give you the number personally. I've also trolled about 10 Switch scalpers on Facebook Marketplace and had them meet each other to sell instead of me. See? Sometimes trolling is good for society. I'm sending nudes to every person who donates at least $10 to any one of these fundraisers for the wildfires in Australia. Every $10 you donate equals 1 nude picture from me to your DM. You must send me confirmation that you donated. Please retweet. The good old days in early 2020. This chick raised over $10K for Australia in less than a day by sending nudes. Some heroes don't wear capes. They don't wear anything. Next time y'all want to shame sex workers, I'm gonna ask how much you've raised for charity. What a memorable moment in history. Someone flashing some bulbs in Vignon was far more steadfast and, I guess, proactive than our own Prime Minister. Please remember that when Doom Guy was ordered to fire on unarmed civilians, he punched his commanding officer, and that's why he was sent to Mars. Be like Doom Guy. I am deliberately stealing a design by Disney in a way that is unlicensed.
Oh, suck my stinky mouse tongue, Disney!
This is copyright infringement, not parody. I want to get sued by Disney Corporation. As beautiful as this is, I'm sure you want some context, so here you go, open wide, here comes the airplane. Twitter is plagued by art thief bots. Any image that has multiple comments along the line of, I want this on a t-shirt, will be automatically uploaded and sold without the artist's knowledge. So, artists started making images full of blatant copyrighted images like the one above, and asking people to spam comment, I want this on a t-shirt, then report the site to Disney. A few of these t-shirt bot sites have actually been taken down this way. The truest killer of automation. Ingenuity. Police have arrested a Minnesota man who checked his sick wife out of a nursing home to throw her a death party. Her final hours included meth, listening to metal, and having intimacy, authorities said. I fail to see the problem here. Dude gave her more fun and excitement than her nursing home could ever give. India is saving endangered rhinos with one simple trick. Poachers hate them. Kazaranga's ruthless rangers have reduced rhino poaching by simply gunning down poachers at sight. Yeah, who knew that these guns actually work on humans too, not just predators? Wow. Despite what the Bible says about stealing, a Church of England priest suggested Saturday it was no sin to shoplift as long as the victim is a big supermarket. Jesus said, love your neighbor. He didn't say love Mark and Spencer's. The Rev.
Okay, fine. The Brits can take this one W for once.
Father Jones explained that his advice does not contradict the Bible's 8th commandment because God's love for the poor and despised outweighs the property rights of the rich. Damn, what? Mate, I think you're converting me. The first year I got Twitter, someone tweeted, cops all have tiny peepees. And we watched as a cop got so mad, he tweeted his peepee and was suspended from Twitter and being a cop. I haven't left since. Look, if that's your first trial experience, I don't blame you. This machine will charge you $1.99 for cash withdrawals. Well, time to destroy this business strategy with the power of a Sharpie. I love that they give the time distance as well. Beautiful touch. Stealing a person's dog so it can actually live. Oh, man. That's just... I'm happy for you. Thank you. Looks so peaceful and junky.
That's not stealing, it's rescuing. I mean, it's both.
Benevolent thieving.
I'm a long-haired native who doesn't steal, so whenever I get followed in a store, I keep the employee on my tail for as long as possible to make it a little easier for people who need to steal to get what they need.
Work isn't supposed to be fun. Medicine is supposed to taste bad. Life is supposed to be hard.
Like, why? Says who? We operate under this false notion that everything is supposed to suck when it doesn't have to. That's the whole point of advancement. To make stuff suck less. Okay, look, I'm fully on board with this, but you tell me how else to persuade a damn child to have their medicine. They don't care it's good for them. They just want it to taste good. I say this as someone who sulked all the time when he had to have cough medicine, and now I don't mind it at all, which I feel like should be a problem considering it's more of an alcoholic taste when you think about it. School board member sworn in on pile of banned books to troll Moms for Liberty. Oh, so a Bible then. Apparently my kid got in trouble today for packing our toaster in his backpack and pulling it out at lunch to make Pop-Tarts for his class. I can't stop laughing. Please help, my muscles have cramped out of pain from so much laughter. This is no longer a funny experience, my stomach muscles have cramped. This man stole a car, and upon realizing that there was a baby inside, he returned the baby, scolded the parents for leaving the car unattended with the baby inside, and proceeded to steal the car again. Listen, I'll take your financial responsibility that it is this car, but I'm not going to take your financial responsibility that is this baby. Unpopular opinion. I don't think your life has to have a purpose, or you a grand ambition. I think it's okay to just wander through life finding interesting things until you die. But then how does
capitalism win?
I just finished beating someone up and I hate myself for it, but he kicked my cat. I just had a roommate coming to my house drunk and trying to start a fight with me, and when I didn't reciprocate, he kicked my 6-week-old kitten. I proceeded to beat his ass for 30 minutes. I feel very ashamed, but I love my cat. It was multiple beatings in a 30-minute time frame. Look, you had everyone on your side the moment you said 6 week. Sorry, no, let's be more real. The moment you said cat. 15 years ago, 5 friends and I drunkenly painted a crosswalk on a dangerous street in our college town. Shockingly, people actually used it, and the city installed a legitimate crosswalk there soon after. Now it's in a national publication. Oh, the automotive industry isn't going to appreciate that. You encouraging more walking access in public infrastructure? Streets should be for cars only. Just look at all those cities in Europe that avoid using cars too much in their inner city areas. They're miserable. They look disgusting.